Have you ever felt like you read a book and you wasted your time because you don't remember a single thing or any takeaways from it? Or have you ever read a paragraph in a book and realized that you didn't comprehend a single thing? It just went in one ear and out the other, or one eye and out the other eye? Well, today I'm going to go over some skills that you can develop now in order to improve both your ability to read as well as your ability to comprehend what you read. So let's get right into it. One skill to improve on in order to actually increase your comprehension of the books you read is to increase your vocabulary. Not only will it allow you to understand more of what you're reading because you know what more complex words mean, but it also have other benefits. The first of which is that it allows you to focus on reading and not get distracted as much. Have you ever started reading and you see a word that you don't really know and you start thinking like, what does that mean? Well, this will help you read more and faster because you're not getting distracted by those little words that you don't remember the definition of or have ever seen before. It will also increase your charisma. Having a more diverse vocabulary will allow you to actually be able to be more articulate in speaking. You like that? I just used articulate, SAT word. So, how can you improve your vocabulary? The first and most obvious way is to read more books. The more books you read, the more words you're going to encounter, and the more different contexts you're going to actually understand that word in. Obviously, reading more is going to improve your reading ability overall, but some ways to directly improve your vocabulary is to sign up for an app or a newsletter that gives you a word of the day. This will allow you to encounter more words that you're less likely to experience a lot in your reading, but because you've seen it a couple of times before, you're gonna have an idea of what it means, and if you do encounter it in your reading, you're not gonna be as distracted and having to refocus on reading again. The next skill you can improve on to increase your ability to read is your ability to focus. Have you ever sat down and started to read and immediately started thinking of, is there something more interesting I can be doing besides looking at these words on a piece of paper? This is because your ability to focus is not as developed. By increasing your ability to focus, you're gonna be able to read a lot more without your mind wandering and not even comprehending what you're reading. The second tier is that you're gonna be able to sit down and read a book until you are ready to be done with it. A lot of the times you're gonna read, and yeah, you can comprehend what you're reading, but your mind starts to think, this is boring, I wanna do something different. Again, this is going to go back to your first skill. You're going to get distracted and probably not remember what you just read. By continuously improving on it, you're going to be able to sit down for a dedicated amount of time and you'll decide when you're done reading, not your mind. Now, the third tier of being able to focus is that you're going to be able to sit down and read whenever you want. You don't have to be worried about getting your mind in the right place where you were just on your phone, maybe scrolling on TikTok, looking for something interesting on Instagram, and your mind's in this mode of instant gratification. By increasing your ability to focus, you're going to be able to slow down that need for instant gratification, and you're going to be something that takes a little more time and dedication in order to actually get some dopamine. Now, some ways to improve your focus are, again, obviously reading a lot is going to help increase your ability to focus on reading. But another way is to start meditating. By continuously meditating, you're going to be able to work on that muscle that allows you to push out distractions or even inner thoughts that are coming in and telling you, I should do something a little more fun. Also, you could actually lower your ability to focus by doing something that's instant gratification. Things that give you cheap hits of dopamine, like, again, scrolling on TikTok, getting those instant hits every time you swipe. Pushing these away are gonna allow you to focus more and not be as distracted. The next skill you can develop is taking notes. Now, taking notes might slow down your reading ability, but it also is gonna help you increase your comprehension of what you read, as well as your ability to recall information you've read in a previous book. Now, the first level and easy way to start getting into note taking is just get a highlighter and highlight in a book any quote or piece of information that you find really important. Now, don't think about what others might think is important. What is important to you? What did you take away from what you just read? The second tier is to write in the book. Every time you find something a little interesting, write what you took away from it in that book or something that you might want to emphasize. The third tip is to have post-its in your notebooks. Now, having post-its, maybe even using different color post-its, will allow you to go and reach for a book you previously read, and if there's something you want to recall or look back on, you can easily find it without having to look through the entire book. But you can also read on your phone, your Kindle, an iPad, some other digital device that has a digital book. Now, these usually have the ability to take notes in the book. Obviously, it's not going to ruin the book, and it makes it easy to go back and see where you take notes. Just having something in the book that signifies important pages and information that you want to recall a certain period of time helps you actually go back and see important information that you might forget, and you want to just have it there so you can easily go back and find it. Now, the fourth tier, now this is probably the most time consuming, so you might not want to do it, but it is a really great way to get the most out of the books you read. And that's to document important information in an outside notebook, a file, just something that you can go back on. Or if there's a certain topic or quote you want to go back and find, you can go to your notebook or maybe an online document and find out where it was in what book that you found this important quote, or important information that you want to make sure you remember. Now again, this is very time consuming, so this is if you really want to comprehend a book. I highly recommend you check out the Daily Stoic. He did a video on how to take notes. He is a very comprehensive note taker when it comes to reading books. But I'll link to that video. Check it out if you want to get a better idea of how to take notes in books. So the final skill is speed reading. Now this is probably the most advanced skill and takes a long time to master. There are plenty of courses out there. There's videos you could watch. I highly recommend watching Tim Ferriss's video. Now the first level of this is just going to make you faster at reading. Obviously, reading a book takes time and dedication, especially if you're not used to reading as much and you want to start getting into it. It's going to be slow at first, but over time, you're going to get faster at it. Another level of this is using your peripheral vision. Now, obviously, when you read a book, your eyes are looking at the words and you're going down the page. Now, moving your eyes takes time. And it might not seem like a lot, but not having to look at the entire page will save time. So learning how to use your peripheral vision and not having to look at the entire page is going to allow you to scroll through the book a lot faster. The next level is to learn how to read sentences as opposed to individual words. When you're reading a book, you're going to look at the words and you're going to read each one and you're going to comprehend what it says. But if you're able to combine words together into one image that your mind can comprehend as a concept, like I am here, very simple sentence, but I am here, you can combine that in your mind into one thing, meaning that person is here, as opposed to looking at, okay, that I is here. That's basically what the sentence says. But if you can combine that into one symbol, just like combining compound words together helps you get across one concept as opposed to breaking it up individual words. And the final level of speed reading is learning how not to read the words in your head. It's an insanely powerful skill if you can learn to develop it. When we're younger, we probably start reading out loud and we're saying each word out loud to get an idea of how to read. Over time, people start to tell you, read in your head. So what do? Instead of reading the words out loud, you're reading the words in your head out loud. And this becomes kind of a habit where you're saying the words in your head to yourself. Now, if you could learn to look at the words instead of having to say it out loud, it reduces the time because every word is a concept. You could take in a concept a lot faster than saying the word out loud. A long word takes a long time to read out loud or in your head, so that's going to take up more time than a shorter word, but they're both one concept. If you're able to look at each word or combine words together, then you're able to reduce the amount of time it takes to read a sentence. First off, find out, do you want to be reading more or do you want to be taking in more of what you read? Figure out which one it is and then go through the skills and start working on one at a time. Maybe you want to read a lot faster, so start working on your speed reading and your vocabulary. Or if you want to improve your comprehension, start working on note-taking and focus.